From refs getting knocked out cold, to players drawing slit throats in the heat of battle,
But there's one referee out there now, and he's going to send.
these are rugby's most heated moments.
Game. He was not injured.
Every sport has its dirty laundry, but rugby's Bloodgate scandal was more like a full wash cycle with the machine on fire. A fake blood capsule, a wink, and a substitution that smelt fishier than Friday night at Billingsgate. Suddenly, rugby's gentleman's code looked more like a magician's cheap trick.
He later explained the reasoning behind his infamous wink. I was simply responding to one of my teammates, Jim Evans, who suggested that I should tough it out.
What made it worse was not just the cheating, but the sheer amateur drama of it all. Who needs Hollywood when you've got a physio with props from a fancy dress shop? From bans to shame, it left fans asking if rugby had finally bitten off more than it could chew.
From the Rebels, and brilliant from the Hurricanes. Might be Dane Coles and Nat Gibbon lining up.
Artie Surveyor lit up the scoreboard, but also lit a fire under the controversy column. Right before halftime, he made a shocking slit throat gesture at Ryan Lawrence. The referee showed him yellow, and fans were left stunned.
He's such a wonderful player, Artie Savia, but there's one referee out there now, and he's going to send.
The Hurricanes' number 8 admitted he crossed the line. Surveyor quickly apologized, saying it was heat of the moment stuff. But critics argued that as a role model, he has to do better. The 1974 Lions Tour wasn't just rugby, it was trench warfare with a whistle. Wheelie John McBride invented the 99 call, and suddenly solidarity meant fists first, questions later. The brilliance was simple. If everyone threw a punch, no ref on earth could send them all packing. It turned rugby into organized chaos, and the Springboks learned that day the Lions weren't there for polite handshakes.
Jack has it cleanly for the All Blacks. And immediately they set up a drive. Now it's on the ground for Justin Marshall to reach in.
The 2005 Lions Tour was meant to be rugby's grand theater, but the curtain ripped off before the first act. O'Driscoll, the Lions' heartbeat, was dumped out of the series in seconds. The tackle wasn't just hard rugby, it felt like New Zealand wanted to write him out of the script entirely.
Yeah, doesn't he?
Still standing.
Oh, okay, so that's Mialamu. Looks like he...
What followed was pure rugby politics. The Lions were fuming, the All Blacks circled their wagons, and fans were left shouting louder than the haka. To this day, people argue over intent, but one thing's certain, this incident made the tour burn hotter than any scrum fire. French Juniors, French Cup, and one of the ugliest sights you'll see on a pitch. A red card turned into a haymaker, and suddenly the referee was the one flat on the turf. Rugby league turned into Friday night boxing in 25 minutes.
They're not giving Sexton any ball.
Mike Phillips is away against Tommy Bowe. And Phillips fends off Bowe, and Wales have scored. And Ireland are rushing up to the referee.
Only Mike Phillips could pull this off, a scrum half who played like he was auditioning for a bar fight rather than a test match. And somehow, he managed to score with the wrong ball and still grin like he'd just stolen the last pint.
And also, so there's a ball tumbling behind just at the middle of your screen. Now what they're saying is that was the ball. We'd need to go back a little bit further to see the ball.
The real comedy was the officials buying it. Ireland fumed, the crowd howled, and Wales laughed all the way to the scoreboard. It was Six Nations mischief at its finest. The the kind of chaos that makes you wonder if rugby secretly loves bending its own rules.
Ball won by Julien Bonner. Sam Warburton, though, with the enormous hit. And that's...
Some red cards are deserved. This one still splits pub debates like a bad pint. Warburton's tackle looked clumsy, not cruel, but the referee's pocket had other ideas.
Is that a red card rather than a yellow card for this? It's a red card. Sam Warburton has been set.
France got the break, Wales got the heartbreak, and the World Cup got one of its most debated calls. Fans still argue yellow or red, but the truth is simple: this decision slammed the door on Welsh's history. Brian O'Driscoll was the golden boy of Irish rugby, which made this moment sting even more. One flash of temper, one stamp, and suddenly St. Brian looked more like a sinner. Even legends can have muddy boots. The yellow card kept him on the pitch, but the memory stuck harder than the studs. Fans argued if it was frustration or fatigue, but the truth was simple. Rome saw a side of O'Driscoll few ever expected.
Spaces, that's out wide. Molinar goes up the middle. Hazel can't take it with him. Cowan is there again. Lovely pass from Tyndall.
Andy Hazel had over 170 Premiership games under his belt, but this was the one that stuck. A few swings, a knee, and a referee with no patience left. Sometimes experience doesn't stop a red mist.
Very ugly scenes on the floor there. Punches being thrown. If you can hear some horrific language there.
The card came out, the crowd gasped, and Hazel walked off with his reputation bruised more than his opponent. It was less rugby, more pub brawl, and proof that even veterans can lose the plot.
Mick O'Driscoll. In goes Cronin. Donegal Callaghan. Now it's Darcy. Darcy, is he going to find a hole? He looks for...
10 minutes into a test, and Jamie Heaslip had already booked his seat in infamy. 2 knees into Richie McCaw was all it took, and Ireland's day was sunk before it even started. Against the All Blacks, that's handing them the keys to the scoreboard.
You can probably hear Wayne Barnes saying their hands away, Black, and if there's going to be a fight, you can be pretty sure Jimmy Cowan will be...
The fallout was brutal. A record defeat, a 5-week ban, and Heaslip plastered across New Zealand headlines like a pantomime villain. It was a rush of blood that left Ireland seeing red in more ways than one.
The win here is Adrian Strauss and Tendam Tararira holding the hooker back there. Steve Walsh right there wasn't able to pick the...
This clash in 2013 had more courtroom drama than rugby flow. Eye-gouging claims, a bite in the ruck, and Springbok tempers boiling over. The scoreboard said win, but the headline screamed chaos.
Passed away to the right. Evan Etzebeth has shown a bite mark on his arm. John de Villiers wants it looked at in the game.
Here's the right hand.
Senator got 7 weeks, Matera walked free, and the whole thing left fans shaking heads. It was less rugby championship, more food fight, with South Africa leaving bruised but still on top.
And then grabbed Skinner. Referee Andrew Brace had already blown for a penalty in Edinburgh's favour, but Etzebeth wasn't having it. Skinner tugged his shirt, Eben snapped, and threw him to the ground.
4 months out, and Eden Etzebeth wasted no time making headlines. One tug, one shove, and suddenly he was storming to the sin bin like it was a family reunion. Classic Eben, easing back into rugby with chaos instead of calm.
Instead, he got into a fiery clash with Scotland international Sam Skinner and ended up in the sin bin just minutes into the second half of Sharks vs Edinburgh.
Fans lost it online, half blaming Skinner, half blaming the ref, and all agreeing Eben wouldn't be Eben without fireworks. The Sharks still won, but the big man reminded everyone he's more enforcer than peacemaker. That's rugby at its hottest, chaos, controversy and all. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.